Are we okay? We got to fucking... We've got to do the fucking shit that we for fucking drug abuse. No! No! Are you listening?
Sean here, and if you're new to the Lorneography community, I just want to say welcome. I also want to say if you're going to go the easy route and you're going to make a commentary breakdown of these TCAT videos, understand you're going to get a lot more views than somebody like me. And you have a responsibility to find out who Lorne is. To go back as far as you can, Durango Mango, go all the way back and read about his real victims, listen to the phone calls, find out how many lives he's ruined or affected in a negative way. He is a wrecking ball, no pun intended, not referencing those calls. He lives from second to second. And if I could ask this guy a question, he always says, "Why do you keep bringing up my past?" Lorne, why do you keep running from it? So if you're going to make those breakdown videos, they're easy. I get it. The chat, all that stuff, it breaks itself down. You don't have to do much work. You can just commentate over it, make a little joke here and there, but never present this guy as a lovable loser. It should be evident from that chat alone that he is a monster of the worst kind. All of these phone calls, all of the documents, breakdowns of other people, you'll find out who he is. So before you go out and make these breakdowns and you make light of what actually happened and you see this crybaby in the chair, just understand he's a manipulative abuser, a serial abuser. And he's a thief and a liar, and you should present him as such. All right, soapbox gone. So how do you defeat a bipolar, paranoid psycho like Lorne Armstrong? There are several ways. One way you definitely cannot do it is logic. He will not respond well to logic and facts. He doesn't want to hear them. It's like trying to have an argument on social media. Once people get riled up, that's it. They're going to stay riled up. The only chance you would have if you wanted to try to use logic was to tie Lorne in a chair in a room with the door barred and shut, because if he wasn't tied down, he would become violent and aggressive, scream, yell, do anything to get you to stop presenting him with truth and to stop you from getting him to provide you answers. He doesn't want to answer you. He wants his suspicions to be correct. He wants his paranoia to be validated. You're not going to get him in a situation like that. So you're left with only a few options. You can try to remain calm, which I think only agitates him more. Or, as we've said before, if he gets you in the pocket, that sweet spot of anger where he's more comfortable, where he's most comfortable, he can take control, he can take the lead, and you've already lost. Once Lorne gets worked up into a frenzy, trying to interject anything without him either butting in and you saying, well, I don't care what your parents think. He won't let you finish because he's already got it in his head what he's going to say. So you're going to have to wait until he's done, until he tires himself out. And if you were to do that, it could take an hour. Spending an hour with Lorne Armstrong is hell. It really would be. So what do you do? When he gets to his point, when he finally makes a decisive point and he stops talking, you're going to have to seize the moment. Lorne loves to accuse, and he'll say, for example, Robot Jamie Amy, why didn't you call me? What were you doing? Why couldn't you call me earlier? Now, the robot is intentionally antagonizing this guy. And something to keep in mind is, Lorne is in these catfish situations designed. Actually, they don't even have to be designed. He's going to do it with anybody. But let's just say they emphasize the things that make him paranoid. And it's going to bring out the real Lorne. I would like to think the catfish women would have a harder time dealing with Lorne, but I think any woman would. And I think his "you're cheating on me" is nothing more than his expression of I understand that I'm inadequate, and that if a woman looks at another guy, she must realize it too, and I'm exposed. But we're talking about how to shut Lorne down, how to confuse him, to get him to stop his rants. And you're going to have to make a decision if you're dealing with somebody like this to hang up the phone or to walk away. Never speak to somebody like Lorne Armstrong, who's shown you what he's capable of on the phone in person, and try to have a conversation like this. It's not going to end well, and you could end up legitimately becoming a prisoner trapped in their house until they get what they want. The first thing you have to realize, and I think it's funny when people credit Lorne with being smart. You know, when he gets drunk, he almost figures it out. No, he's paranoid. And these catfish situations are a giant game. And occasionally, Lorne will get something right. His paranoia, he just fires in all directions. He's eventually going to hit something. He's not smart, he's paranoid. And these are the questions you ask paranoid people. You have to make them answer it. Because if you don't make them answer it, they're not going to trust what you say. This is how you make them think it's their idea. This is how you make them reason it out while they're talking to you to hopefully diffuse the situation. I'm a little sick, so you'll have to forgive the voice. You're talking to Lorne. You don't call him until 8:45. You're supposed to call him at 8:30. Now, any normal person, oh, hey, what's going on? That's it. That's all you'd say. But not Lorne. It's 8:45. You're supposed to call me at 8:30. Why didn't you call me? Lorne, I was busy. Now, we know Lorne doesn't understand what busy means. We've talked about this. He doesn't have anything except moving dirt from one side to the other of his trailer, putting a oscillating fan up as a ceiling fan. We know he doesn't walk dogs. He doesn't do anything. He thinks that this is a guy who thinks that working around his house is the same as having a job, because he's, quote, saving money by not having to pay other people to do it. That rationality should scare anybody. Moving on. So he asked you, why didn't you call me at 8:30? Because I was busy. Well, what were you doing? I was reading. Lost track of time. Yeah, you were probably talking to Mike. Lorne, why would you think I was talking to Mike? Well, because I know you have a crush on him. Lorne, why would you think I had a crush on Mike? Well, because I can tell. Lorne, what are the signs that I have a crush on Mike? And you can see where this is going. The more questions you ask him, when you ask him for specifics, you ask him for proof, you ask him for facts, he crumbles. He'll get angry. And if you're dealing with somebody like this in real life, obviously you would say, you're pretty emotional right now, we're not getting anything done. When you calm down and you're ready to think rationally, we can talk. Click. Have a good night. Click, because if you just hang up, it's just going to snap. And you're going to get the Lorne who hangs up and then text message you 50 times until you call him back and he goes, what? But you're going to have to ask him those questions. Think of how many times he just accuses Winnie of cheating. You even sound like you're cheating on me. Now, they're having a little bit of fun with him, and yeah, it was kind of shocking, but you want to say, Lorne, why would you think I'm cheating on you? Well, because, you got some guy there. Lorne, why would you think a guy was there? And we talked about this. If they're not making noise, Lorne assumes the guy is quiet. If they are making noise, if there is noise in the background, he assumes the guy's being noisy. It's never that you're alone and the TV's on or the radio's on or you're moving things around. It's always a guy. So when you're dealing with Lorne, you're going to have to make him tell you why he's insecure. And if you're dealing with somebody like this in real life, if you can get them to verbally, if you can just get them to communicate in any way, writing, whatever, to tell you why they're insecure and why they're worried about a certain person in your life. In Jamie Amy's world, she's banging everybody, it seems like. So I can see how Lorne would be a little frustrated, but because he's so desperate and sad, he'll never leave. He can't leave. He sounds so miserable, but he can't leave. these questions, this chain of questions that you're asking him, might even help him to realize this situation is not healthy for me, because I'm panicking and freaking out over nothing. Why is there a red smudge on your collar? Because I did whatever you did that actually put it there. Well, it looks like lipstick. It's not lipstick. Who are you with? Well, why would you think I was with somebody? Because you have red on your collar. We've been over this. This is how I got the red on my collar. Dealing with someone like Lorne, he would say, well, it looks like lipstick. And it would just go back and forth. This is what it is. Well, it looks like lipstick. This is what it is. Well, it looks like lipstick. And it's just going to keep going. You have to cut it off there. But you have to ask him, well, what kind of lipstick does it look like? Well, lipstick. Is that the shape that lipstick would make? I mean, how would I get that on my collar? Well, you could have been, and this is where they start giving you the scenarios. The bullshit scenarios they're coming up with to justify their paranoia. This is not something they were thinking about. Remember, this is coming off the top of their head. They're trying to come up with some bullshit to justify their paranoia. This is why asking those questions is so important. Because if they're thinking, if it's instantaneous processing, and they're just spitting this crap out, they're just making it up, you're going to get ahead of it by asking these questions. And they're going to run out of scenarios that could justify their paranoia because you're 2 questions ahead. And this is where the rage probably kicks in for Lorne, when he can't keep up. I know you were talking to Maggie Joe earlier with absolutely zero proof. Why would you think that, Lorne? Because every time we have a fight, you talk to Maggie Joe. That's not true, Lorne. Lorne, when we have a big fight, I may talk to somebody. All we had was an argument. Why do you think I have to call somebody? Well, because you do it all the time. Lorne, name some times when I've talked to somebody. Well, I know you have, Lorne. Why would you think that I had? Well, because the one time you call, Lorne, that was one time. What are some other times that I've done this? If you keep going that route, if you keep hitting him with these bombs, eventually he'll get so confused. He'll either get confused enough to just let it go, or he'll get angry and you'll have an excuse to get off the phone. So when you're dealing with somebody like that, I know this sounds basic, but you need to remember in the heat of the battle, when I was in the Marines, they taught us crap over and over. Muscle memory, so that when something happened, it just became natural. Restore the breathing, stop the bleeding, all this crap that they taught us, so that when you're out there and you don't have time to think, you'll remember, hey, I need to do this. And this is one of those tricks you need to remember when you're talking to a Lorne. Let's do a logical question. If you're out on a date and you're struggling to find something to talk about, you use this logical chain of questions. Let's say you're at a pizza place. You both order, you make a compromise. You order like pepperoni mushroom, right? And you say, what would you have ordered if you were just going to order a pizza on your own? Oh, me? Oh, I love green peppers and onions and olives. Really? What's your favorite part of that pizza? If you had to take one of those toppings, which one would it be? Oh, the olives. Are those black olives or green olives? Oh, I love green olives. What do you like about the taste? Oh, they're very tangy. Well, I like tangy stuff too. What else have you eaten that's tangy? I know it's kind of boring, but I'm just making a point. Those are questions that people are thinking about and giving you honest answers to. When you're dealing with a paranoid psycho, bipolar individual like Lorne, you're not dealing with truth. You're dealing with emotions and delusions and assumptions. And something again that Ramona did when she said, Lorne, that would set him off. I'm going to tell you something about bipolar people. There was a time, man, I'm getting choked up just talking about it. There was a time I didn't even like to see my own name. I didn't want to hear my name. I didn't want to read it. I just wanted to exist and be who I was. It took a while to get over that because I felt like a monster. I felt like an absolute failure. And anytime I'd see somebody else mention my name, or in an email even, in a positive way even, I just wanted to not exist. I wanted to hide away and be in my own little world. Now, why do I get emotional about that? Because it's very difficult to overcome. I think Lorne doesn't like to see his name on anything, which is why all this legal shit and NBC and all of that, yes, it makes him look bad. But I don't think he doesn't want anybody else to say his name unless he has control over how they say it. So when you're on the phone with this guy and you say, Lorne Armstrong, I think you're just setting yourself up for failure. Throughout his entire life, he has heard his name in the most negative ways. Lorne Armstrong, what are you doing in there? I would hear, Sean McClure, what are you doing? I'm cutting my hair, Mom. This is when I was like 7. Why are you cutting your hair? Well, Superman don't have curly hair. It was funny, but I got in trouble because I was cutting my own hair. I'm sure Lorne has heard that over and over. Lorne Armstrong, what are you doing? So if you're saying his name and then you go into this line of questions, probably not a good idea. I don't know why, but it sets him off. When you're in an emotional conversation with Lorne, it'll be one-sided and he'll assume you're also emotional. He's going to keep asking you the same question and hammering it home over and over. You're going to say, why do you need the answer to that question? Well, because I need to know. Why do you need to know? Because I'm your boyfriend. Why do you think boyfriends need to know everything that's happening? Well, because the doctor was involved. Why do you think everything that happens between the doctor and I is sexual? Right there. Right there. He's either going to say you're cheating on me, or he's going to say, because you've seen him naked, he's seen you naked. This is where you ask him, why do you think that seeing each other naked means that two people are having sex? Apologies, I'm really tired, but I'm going to get through this damn thing. This is where you can go deep into his past, and you can say, Lorne, what happened in your past to make you think that two people seeing each other naked means something sexual has to happen? No. We're going to get back, and here's your tactic right here. Lorne, I'm trying to get deeper into the way you think. You have such a unique way of thinking. I just want to figure out where you're coming from. So just go with me on this journey. You may not want to say his name, as I said before. Just go with me here. Then I'll be able to see where you're coming from. Now you have shown interest in him. You've made Lorne feel special because he has to feel special at all times. Who knows? You may have a real breakthrough. Well, when I was younger, my brother would bring his girlfriend over, and they figured I was too young to know. They'd get naked and start having sex right there in the living room. Then eventually they'd make me leave because I'd stand there watching. Holy crap. If you could find one little bitty reason for why, just a little piece of his paranoia, I would high-five you. I'd fly to where you are. I'd high-five you. Not a little literally, though. What I'm saying is, you take him on that journey, you make him vocalize, because when he starts spitting, conjecture, accusations, and suspicions, and he's giving you all this crap, Lorne, all you have is this. You have nothing but suspicion, and I'm telling you the truth, but you're not believing me. So either you start accepting what I'm saying is fact, and we can move forward and talk about good things, or I'm going to hang up the phone, and we're not going to talk again. Chances are that would last for a day, and you get that, must be time to be alone with a doctor for the night, huh? But you have to take that chain of question. You have to take him down the rabbit hole. You have to make him tell you where it's coming from and why he's saying this. And who knows, you may have a breakthrough. People who've come to me for help, I've gone down this rabbit hole with them until eventually they realize there's no possible way my spouse is cheating on me, because I've just answered all of your questions. There's no scenario in all of this that ends with that being the result. So maybe it would help. We're not talking about, Lorne, let me send you another picture in the shower to make you feel better help. We're talking about you setting the ground rules and you being able to ask questions and them having to answer it, because you can continue to tell them, I'm just trying to figure out where you're coming from. I want to know why you think this. And unless you can give me a good reason why you think it, other than you suspect it, or you just want to accuse me of it because you're paranoid, we can either let it drop or we can go our separate ways. We know Lorne, when he could be having sex with the entire basketball team while he's on the phone, he'd call her back in an hour. Because he's a cuck and he can't get a real woman, thank God. But when you're dealing with him, this is how you have to handle him. And you have to be calm about it, and you have to be crafty and clever. Lorne is none of those. He's just so confused. This is going to confuse him, and he's going to use it as an excuse that you confused him. You just have to remind him, Lorne, this shouldn't have been confusing. This actually got you to open up. That's a good thing. Give a little bit of praise for it. But in the end, if you ever are around a Lorne, or you ever think about having a relationship with someone who's 1% Lorne, run for it. I know this is a bit rambly. It's a Sunday night. I'm tired, but I love you guys. I will see you in the next one.